Mummy 3, Tomb of the Dragon Emperor. This is the first time I've seen this in, I think, since it came out. This was not good compared to the first two. And how would I fix it? So this is going to be sort of a short and sweet sort of fix for me, because one, the perfect fix for it is we should be, and anybody who's watching this in the clip later, my apologies, I'm going to move because I am in bed this week because I am sick. I have hurt myself. I cannot move. And I'm just kind of sort of stuck here. So in bed. So please bear with me. But when it comes to the Mummy 3, which is what I'm going to call it, I'm not going to go with the whole title. You have a great cast here. You have Jet Li. You have Michelle Yeoh. You have so many more just kind of showing up. Brendan Fraser's back. Pretty much the entire cast is back, except of course for Rachel Weisz, which Maria Bello, as much as I like her, and I think she's a fantastic actor, she just does not work in this. The chemistry isn't right between her and Rick, Evelyn, and Rick, and Brendan Fraser's Rick O'Connell. The way that Rachel Weisz did, I thought they worked perfectly together. I thought they maintained so perfectly well. And, I really wish that they had held out or paid her or did whatever they had to do to get this done, because to add this would have been so much better. Or you don't add her, or you don't, she does not become a proponent of it. If this is a way to pass the torch and keep it going with Alex, the young son, because now he's grown and he's in his young 20s, and the whole movie starts out with their bored married couple who just don't go on adventures anymore, and he's out there living up life on his adventures, looking for things in China, and he finds the emperor's cursed tomb, and of course he releases the mummy. The mummy gets released in some way and they get tied into it. There's a million ways to do that, but I would have simplified this more. First of all, take out so many changes in where you're going with it. They go all over the damn place. And yes, China is beautiful. And China has so much rich history. And you could have kept this going. If you did it right, you could have kept this going on for a long time, just taking place in China. But you shot yourself in the foot because you basically made The Mummy and The Mummy Returns. And The Mummy Returns was basically carbon copy of the first one. I don't put it down. I love it. I think it's a lot of fun and I enjoy it. It is not the same as the first one, in sense of like as good as, but it is a good film that was fun and enjoyable. But you have the same exact cast. You have the same exact villain. You're telling the same exact story. Sorry for the motorcycles and things like that. Again, stuck in bed this week, not my studio. So I appreciate you guys understanding that. So I can't really control all the outside elements, but I will say for me, if you want to do a third Mummy movie and you want to move it to somewhere else and do something different, use a different rich history, and you want to kind of pass the torch, I would have actually went more along the lines of, and you can't get your main act, because remember, Evelyn was the main point. She was the main focal point of the first movie. It was not Rick. He came in to it. He was the hero, but he came into it. She was the precipice of everything. In the second one, the boy was the precipice. She was also still the big dog. Like, she was the one that was the main focus. She was connected to the past. Rick, again, was just the hero that was along for the ride. The love interest. Played perfectly well. Now, if you want to change this up and you want to start doing that with the son, and you can't get Rachel Weisz back, then leave her out of it. He's grown. Maybe the father's out. They had a falling out. He needs to go save his son, or he thinks he needs to go save his son. Or maybe Rick is gone and his son needs to go save him. First, they should have gotten a better actor for the son too. He just wasn't that good. Have the son team up with the brother and go back. You got him back. So, And now they have to go back and they have to save Rick, who is out in China trying to, do a mission for something. He's working espionage or whatever. That was like one of their subplots that they did in the movie. And then you create this Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade sort of feel. The father and son have to band together, stop this mummy, and that now it's a father and son movie. And it's a fun movie. You can add a love interest to it, a new love interest, and have that for the son, and just have Rick O'Connell play the older father who's just happy for his son. I just don't think that they went the right way with this. Get rid of those goddamn Yetis. That was ridiculous. And the fact that they added it was stupid. Everything else they should have just kept in, working in China, not jumping in the Himalayas, not doing this, Shangri-La, the whole 9 yards. It just needed to be, it should have been a little more toned down for what it was. They went too epic with it at a time where it was too extended from where the second one had been. The second one came out in 2001. This came out in 2006. So that's a big time jump. We have now forgotten about them. And also it's a little hard to believe that this little kid that we saw in the second one is now a grown adult, but I let it go. I think if you're going to make this movie, make it in like 2010 or something like that, and then it's a little more believable. But regardless of all of that, if you're going to fix this movie, you need to cut out some of the locations. You need to cut out some of the stupidity of, and the hokiness. Because the fun thing about the comedy of the first and the second one, they still took the horror seriously. This one, they didn't. Everything was still added to an element of horror to it, added an element of comedy to it, and they made fun of it a bit. It just didn't work. And then you were trying to make certain elements scary, and that also didn't work because you just now checked us out. So, and because they didn't have that chemistry that Evelyn and Rick had in the first two, because you changed out the actor, it didn't work for me either. So a couple of casting changes, couple of, certain landscapes written out of it and things like that, and creatures written out of it. I think that you could have had a much better movie if you made it more of a father and son, like I said, Last Crusade sort of movie, where Rick has to kind of come in and be like, yeah, all right, this is who I am. This is what I've done for a long time. You need to listen. And then his son is like, yeah, but you can listen to me too, Dad. So let's go from there. So I want to know, what do you think? Did I fix the movie? It is a hard movie to fix because it is not a great movie, but I would love to hear what you guys think. Sound off in the comments. Let me know. Join up on the Discord. Let's talk about it over there. You can join up on the Patreon. We talk about things there as well, and we have tons of stuff going on. We have new episodes of Warp Factor Fiction coming out this week over on the Patreon, so you can check them out. But thank you guys so much for watching the Scene Snobs podcast. I really appreciate you.